Heligo Books presents The Green Startup, written and read by me, Juliet Davenport. To my very own future holders, Moji and Bella, this book is for you and for your future. Introduction. Imagine standing on a cliff edge and peering over. You can't judge how far the drop is or how deep the water is below. You know there are currents swirling underneath, but you can't see them. There's no one to guide you or rescue you if the dive goes wrong. But you feel this strange sensation. You have to jump, but you don't know why. Suddenly you're falling. The rush is overwhelming and you can barely breathe. Yet all the time you have this unshakable faith, a determined voice in your head telling you that everything is going to be okay. For an entrepreneur, this is what your first days and months at work can feel like. There's no welcome at the door, no meet and greet around the office, no induction, no laptop waiting for you on your desk. The chances are that you may not even have a desk. In short, there's no corporate support system to catch you. There's just you, an idea, and the compulsion to drive that idea forward, regardless of what lies ahead. That's certainly how I felt when I started my company Good Energy 20 years ago. Back in 1999, Good Energy was one of the first companies to offer 100% renewable electricity to UK householders. But when I started it, renewable energy was hardly the buzzword on everyone's lips. In fact, it was consigned to the margins while the fossil fuel industry burned brightly. It's hard for me to imagine it now, but back then there was no Greta Thunberg or activists like Extinction Rebellion. David Attenborough's Blue Planet, which so devastatingly exposed plastic pollution in our oceans, would not air on TV until 2001. There was no government talk of a carbon-neutral future. Instead, there were a terrifying number of people either denying climate change outright or burying their heads in the sand, hoping something would sort itself out somehow without life radically changing. An inconvenient can to kick down the road. I was viewed as an upstart, worse still, a female upstart, and I faced a steep learning curve. Yet 2 decades later, not only is the scientific evidence for climate change incontrovertible, but saving the planet has become the defining element of mainstream debate. Limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees C, the temperature the world needs to reach to avoid the worst impacts of climate change, has now been enshrined in the historic Paris Agreement of 2015. In 2020, renewable energy generated almost half of Britain's electricity. There's still a long way to go, but the pace of progress is accelerating fast. Of course, green energy is just one piece of a vast climate change jigsaw, and it happens to be the business that I've dedicated my life to. But thorny, intractable questions like, how can we save our planet, will require a myriad of people from all kinds of backgrounds coming up with a myriad of solutions. For entrepreneurs whose natural instinct is to innovate, it's an exciting time. I would go as far as to say it's a golden age. Because climate change is endemic in everything we do, from getting on a plane at the drop of a hat to buying supermarket food flown in from around the world. It is such an uncomfortable problem that there's now a pressing need to rethink every part of our lifestyle. The COVID-19 pandemic has only magnified this. It's shown us how interconnected we are and how vulnerable humans are to a rapidly changing environment. Through countless numbers of unnecessary deaths, it's thrown global inequality into sharp focus and shown what seismic shocks can do to economies, countries, communities, and families. And it has exposed our systematic frailty in dealing with multiple crises: health, economic, financial, and climate. All this has presented a major threat to both consumers worldwide and established corporations. But if positives are to be found, it has also shown the world an opportunity. Successive lockdowns has given us a glimpse of what permanent recovery of our global ecosystem might look like, and the potential of collective action in responding to an emergency. In my view, business is also part of this collective action. It has a responsibility.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?